Hey, coach. Thank you so much for your time. Great team win for you guys tonight, and like you finished really strong. But just a quick question: your team were giving up kind of a lot of transition points off the back of made baskets in the first. Was that a cause for concern for you? And what did you do to limit this in the second half?
Yeah, it's definitely a concern. We talked about this team, having two guards in Chase and Randall and Simpson that can really push it and put pressure on the defense. And I think, early on in the game, it seemed like we were a little tight. Um, and so we just had to settle down. We made the necessary adjustments that we needed to make in the second half of the game, and we were able to kind of get that a little bit under better control.
Perfect. Thanks so much for your time.
Question from Cody.
Hey, Coach, you told us the other day you thought Jalen in that debut played, did a little bit too much. What'd you make of his performance today, and specifically in that second half when he kind of went off a little bit?
Well, I felt like he did today what good players do, on the next level. They bounce back from when they have a subpar night. I had to reflect myself after the other night because I think, in a lot of ways it's unfair that we expect so much of our young guys. When you think about the fact, like I said, they're just out of high school, playing at a different level, different physicality, different speed of the game. And, we almost kind of put them on a pedestal and expect them to be, Kobe Bryant or Kevin Durant, guys like that. And one of the things that I talked to them about after the game the other night was the fact that those guys that I just named, Tracy McGrady, Kobe, KD, KG, when those guys first came in the league, when they were just their age or, a little bit older than them, they struggled at the beginning. It wasn't instant success. Kobe didn't play very much in his rookie year. Tracy McGrady didn't either. And so it feels like, sometimes we have this expectation that these guys are just supposed to plug in and just get it done. And they're all doing well. And but I think we have to temper those expectations. But Jalen got in the gym last night, got some extra shooting in. Without anybody, prodding him to do that. And that's what you like to see as a coach. And I thought that he bounced back today and really showed what he was made of.
Question from Christos.
Hello, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
How important for a brand new team is to win a close game like that tonight? And also, what impressed you from Jalen and Jonathan Kuminga on the court together?
Yeah, I mean, every time we step on the court, we want to, that's our goal, to try to win the game. And, we understand that we're, developing these young guys through the experience that they're getting out there on the floor. But we want to compete. We still want to win. And they just look like they belong. They don't look out of place. They're playing with a lot of confidence. When I put them back in, I think it was maybe the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter or something like that. I told them to bring the game home. So with Jared out there providing that leadership and Dante Hall's energy that he brought, especially on the defensive end, I thought that Jalen and Jonathan really, really settled down and made some great plays for us. They got to the free throw line. They concentrated and knocked down those important free throws as we got down the stretch of the game. And we got contributions from everybody across the board. Isaiah Todd was great for us, and his scoring during that stretch was very timely for us. He did a lot of great things on the defensive end, but we needed those buckets that he got for us. So I thought it was overall everybody who played in the game, contributed in one way or another. Jesse Govan was put into action and kept us afloat in that first half, coming in, hitting a couple threes and a baseline too. So overall, just a great team victory today.
Question from Yash.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
I got a question. You guys have your first back-to-back tomorrow. What's the most difficult part of taking these sort of the biggest part of the game from 2-0? What's the challenge of sort of taking the positives from these two games to your next game tomorrow?
Well, these two games, I mean, obviously when we look at the film, we want to, point out things that we can obviously do better. At the same time, we want to point out the things that we did well and continue to build on those, but just learn from the mistakes that we made um, in Wednesday's game as well as today's game. But then we also got to put that behind us because we got another opponent, a different opponent coming up on tomorrow night. And so, we have to quickly get familiar with their personnel and what they're trying to do. We have to, part of this process is them understanding that they're going to have to take care of their bodies right now by icing and getting whatever treatment that they need and then getting rest, rehydrating themselves and getting some rest tonight to get ready for tomorrow. So all of this is part of that learning process, part of getting used to the routine of what it's going to be like playing at the next level. And, when we got contributions, like I said, from everybody today. Tomorrow I'll probably be a little quicker on my rotations, getting guys in and out. On the second night of a back-to-back, but just looking forward to getting these games going and continuing to get these guys experience out there on the floor.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you.
We'll go to Matt with the next question.
Hey, Coach. Congratulations on the win. You did speak about Jesse Gavan just then. He had 8 points in 8 minutes, 100% from the field. What did you make of his performance? A bit more into that. And what's his role on the team as a new addition? Is he going to play a bit more moving forward?
Well, it's the situation is fluid. I felt like Amir Johnson was laboring a little bit today. He is one of our older guys on the team, and so I wanted that infusion of energy from Jesse, and he was a pro. He was ready to go. He didn't play last game, but when he was called on, he was ready. He didn't hesitate, and so that'll be stuff that'll just come from my gut in terms of how I sense that the game is going and where I need to plug guys in here and there. And he provided a good example for me, for the rest of the team, that, you got to stay ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And, this was the first game that he played of our season. The scrimmage that we had right before our first game, he was 3 for 3 from the field. So he hasn't missed a shot since he's been with us. And so I do have that in the back of my mind and know that he'll be ready whenever called on.
Thanks, Coach.
We got time for a couple more questions. We'll go to Brian first.
Hey, Coach, congrats on the win. You mentioned Isaiah. I wonder if you can talk about what you saw in his game tonight and what he's got to do to continue to get even better.
Isaiah, if I'm being honest, Isaiah has been our most consistent player, I would say, over the last 3 weeks in practice, in the scrimmages that we've had. That little stretch that he had tonight kind of was a glimpse of what he's been doing on a regular basis for us. And he does so many things, and a lot of the things that he does goes unnoticed. They go unnoticed. He does a lot of the intangibles, but defensively, he can get out and switch on the smaller players, keep them in front, use his length. He can rebound the ball. He can come from the weak side and block shots. And then he can stretch the floor, knock down threes, make plays for his teammates as well as in a facilitator position. So he's kind of a jack of all trades. And I wish that he got a lot more recognition and notoriety for the type of player that he is. But I think as people start to see him, that part of his game will unfold. And I think that he'll start to rise up the rank in terms of how people view him as a player.
Mute yourself, Chico. There you go.
Hey, Zach, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
So you guys are going into this whole process is about preparing for the NBA, and you guys are going into your first back-to-back set. Have you guys kind of been told, how to prepare for the next game or situations like this?
I I think, this is another great step towards our development. This is only our second game out, and again, we're making big strides, but we still haven't reached our full potential yet. And I feel like as time goes on and as we go deeper into the tournament, you'll see more maturity as the time goes on.
Thank you.
Question from Cody.
Hey, Isaiah. You bounced back from that debut game today. What was kind of the biggest difference for you in the second game to really enable you to have that good performance today?
I think the only difference is I got, some better looks this game. I think the first game, I didn't really get many looks. But, again, they're intangibles that, things that other guys like my coach and, my coaching staff see, like diving to the basket to get somebody else open. Those little things helped us win that first game. And I think now the second game I had a different role, which was to bring energy, in the fourth quarter. So that's one of the things that I feel like I do well. I can pretty much do whatever you want me to do, man.
Going over to Jonathan next.
All right, Isaiah, great game. Just kind of piggybacking off one of the last comments. You definitely stepped up in a big bad way tonight. How much? What's the best way to put this? How much have we seen of you so far? Like, what percentage of you have you seen? Like, is this 50% of Isaiah, 6%? How much better do you think you can get?
That is an amazing question. I'm so glad you asked that. I don't even think I'm starting to scratch like the things that I really can do. I think now what we're seeing is some of the things that I was doing in high school and, obviously taking the open shots, but there's still so much more that the world hasn't seen yet that I think, we'll start to see as time goes on, as we get more comfortable and as things start to clean up.
I fully agree. Good game.
Going to Brian next.
Hey, great win, man. Wondering, this whole experiment so far, like what has been the most surprising thing for you that you've learned or that you've sort of like, that you've gone through with all the guys here? What's kind of your experience been like so far?
I'm sorry, can you ask me one more time?
Yeah, like what's been the most surprising thing about this whole experience so far for you?
The most surprising thing about this whole experience is probably how much fun it really is. Like it's basketball at the end of the day, and I think if you really truly love the game, and you really truly want to advance and be on the best level and the highest level, this is just so much fun. And I think a lot of people confuse professional basketball, with people's certain situations. But I think it's a lot of fun for the guys here, and I think it's a lot of fun for the guys that'll, choose this route if that becomes something like that.
Thank you.
Question from Christos.
Hello, Isaiah. Congratulations on the win. How important for a brand new team like you is to win a close game like that, and what it means this 2-0 in the first two games of the season?
It feels good. It feels good that we're making strides. But again, I preach to the guys. I try to tell the guys, like, let's not get too comfortable. We still have 13 more games. We still have to make playoffs, and we still have to win this whole tournament. 2 games, it really, pat ourselves on the back, but it really doesn't mean anything yet.
Question from Cody.
Coach just told us a few minutes ago you've been probably one of the most consistent players since you guys have been here. And what coming into this bubble environment, what was kind of your biggest objective that you placed on yourself or what you wanted to show during the course of your time here?
I think the biggest thing that I want to be able to show is that I can literally do pretty much whatever my coach needs me to do, whether that means being the scorer or whether that means being a role player, but for the betterment of my team, for us right now. That's all I've been preaching to the guys, because if we all win as a group, that's how we'll win individually.
Any other questions for Isaiah? Christos, back to you.
Yeah. Isaiah, how big is the impact of players like Jared Jack and Bobby Brown in the team, and especially you?
I think what you said is how important they are to the team. What's the question?
How big is the impact of those two players?
Okay. Yeah, having Bobby and having Jared Jack as our vets and our point guards, man, they are huge. Like Jared, he's huge on talking, and he helps us a lot on defense and on offense to get us organized. I think having that mature voice on the court right next to you is a lot of help when you're trying to learn and help slow down the game for young guys like us.
Thank you.
Any final questions? Thanks, everybody. We'll be right back with Jalen.
How y'all doing?
All right, everybody. Jalen here. We'll get started with Chico with the first question.
Hey, Jalen, congrats on the win today.
Thank you.
Did you feel in your second game today that you felt a lot more relaxed and comfortable out there? You seem to be able to get into your rhythm a lot smoother today.
Yeah, I felt a lot more comfortable. My team helped me with that. Coach's staff told me that it's our first game. It's our first real pro game in a year, so just gotta get comfortable. And my team helped me with this, so just came out and played, and we won. So yeah.
Thanks, Jalen.
Question from Jonathan.
All right, Jalen, great game and a really strong second half. It was clear to see in your previous game that you weren't too happy about your performance. And even coach alluded to that after the game, you got some shots up just to kind of get back in the rhythm. Scary thing is that it seems that you can get even better. How much of the real Jalen Green we've seen so far, like if you had to give a percentage?
I would say about 50. Let me keep going. I would say about 50. I mean, I'm still learning the game. I'm still young. I still gotta adapt. This is like my adapt year. I was in high school last year. This is my whole transition over, and I'm just gonna take everything I can, all soak it in, and just try to be the best version of me on and off the court.
Absolutely. Great game, and thank you for your time.
Appreciate you.
Question from Cody.
Hey, Jalen, after that first game, coach told us that he feels like you're going to be kind of targeted a little bit by opposing players and things like that. And even Jarrett talked about it a little bit. Is that something that you've noticed, and how are you going to be approaching that throughout your time here in the bubble?
I'm not really too worried about that. I feel like I've been targeted my whole life in this basketball world. So I'm kind of used to it. The main thing I'm focusing on right now is just winning as a team and just trying to get better every day. It's 2 games in the books, and it was progression. So we're just going to keep progressing and keep winning.
Question from Christos.
Hello, Jalen. Congratulations on the win, the performance as well.
Thank you.
What was the biggest lesson for you in the first couple of games of the season, and how big boost you get from your performance tonight?
I think the biggest lesson was just slow down and play at a pace. These guys is moving fast, they're trying to attack fast, and we just gotta play our own game. We have the skill, we have the talent, we have a team around us that we could just trust. So we just gotta play at our own pace. What was the second question you asked me?
Yeah, how big boost you get? How big boost you get from your performance?
Big of a boost. How big of a boost from what? The game?
Yes, for your performance, yes.
It helps me. I feel a lot more confident on the floor. But like I said, I still got a lot of growing up and learning to do. So I'm just gonna take it day by day, game by game, and we just gonna keep winning, like I said.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Question from Brian.
Hey, Jalen, great game, man.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, how important have the veterans been in terms of your game, in terms of, what you've learned so far?
The vets have been key to all the young guys' performance. I could speak for all of us. Like I said, we're young coming in here. Last year we played high school, and we haven't played a real competitive game in a year. So the vets being here, that have done this and been in our shoes before, they have nothing but knowledge. They got 15 years underneath their belt, maybe even more. They got a lot of experience, and we have no experience in this pro life. So we're just gonna listen to what they say, try to implant it in us, soak it in and just keep going day by day.
Question by Matt.
Hey, Jalen. Great performance and congrats on the win. You're 2 games in now. What does the experience of playing professionally on national TV mean now it's well underway? And how good does it feel to be back on the court getting minutes in your legs?
It feels great to be back on the court. It's really exciting being on TV, so all my family could watch me, my friends who haven't seen me in a year. So that's been real exciting. The biggest thing with these past 2 games is probably just the level of play. People are a lot faster, stronger, taller. When in high school, we went from being the best player on the floor to all these guys can compete with us. But what are you going to do to separate yourself to be that best player on the floor? So it's just a lot of experience you got to go through, a lot of learning you have to go through. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Question from Yash.
Hi, Jalen. Congratulations on the win and the great performance.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier you feeling that it is just about 50% of where you think you can get to. After a couple of games, where do you think you can get even more better going forward?
I could get better at passing for sure. I ain't have no assists today, and I'm pretty sad about that. Because I know I could get my teammates open. I know I could draw players. So I think my passing IQ, I think making reads better and defense. So yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for Jalen? Christos, last question.
Yeah. Jalen, what is the biggest improvement on your game through the bubble experience for you? And what is the main goal for you?
The biggest improvement, I would say my pace. Last year, if you seen me play in high school, you notice that I'm just a downhill, speedy guy. But now I say like I'm coming off pick and rolls. Like I said, I got to work on that passing. I think I need to work on my shot and defense. I'm just trying to be an all-around player. That's all.
Keep up. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thanks, everybody. As a reminder, this recording will be on Media Central and the Content Network.
Appreciate y'all.